Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel and welcome back Sistas Season 3. It's been long awaited. We've waited a couple months. It seemed like it's been a long time, especially where they left us off at. But before we jump into this drama and talk about it, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications. You like the video? Smash that like button and drop a comment below. Let's talk about this. So, it left us off at season 2 where we saw Andi had a gun sticking in her face because Jasmine had snuck in the apartment while Gary was in the bathroom. And of course, the last we saw, Gary was shot and he's laying dead on the floor. And Andi is freaking out. And I'm like, oh my God, is all of this really worth it? Obviously, Andi thinks so, right? And Jasmine is just straight up loco, comparing wedding rings and her being the ex-wife, all of that. However, we did see Andi get an opportunity when she was least expecting it to get a hold of Jasmine and knock her butt out. So by the time she got over there to check on Gary, the cops was in her house. Now, of course, they're thinking that she is the person. Now, I'm thinking like this girl is in her lingerie. They automatically assumed that she was the criminal here. Anyway, but she's like, why are you guys in here talking to me when you should be checking on Gary? And it was weird because the cop is asking questions like, give me details. And then he said, were you cheating with him, or are you having an affair with him? And she looking at him like, where'd that come from? And that was a weird question, but okay. So she's like, no, they're divorced. And, we had decided to move in together. And his ex is crazy. And she broke in my house and all of this. In the meantime, he's still asking questions. And she's just like, where is Gary? You need to call an ambulance. And I thought that was interesting, too. I think it's more to this. And the reason being is because they asked her to go see the body. And when she went in there, they just cut everything off. So it's more to the story with what happened with Gary. So let's move on to Jacoby and Sabrina. Now, Sabrina knows she want that. She knows she do. He got his tats hanging out. He got them pecs hanging out. That big old smile. She trying to control herself because she know that she still kind of want Calvin. But Calvin don't have that edge and Jacoby do. And Jacoby is not wanting to leave at all. I mean, she's begging him to leave. Because remember, last season, Calvin caught him at the house because he came over there to talk to her. And now she's trying to get him to leave because now she's feeling some kind of way like she got caught up. That was crazy. My thing is with Miss Sabrina, she don't know what she wants. She likes some of the qualities in Calvin, but she just don't trust the fact that he's not the typical edge dude like Jacoby. So she finally was able to get rid of him. But who does she call Sabrina? Now Sabrina and Mr. Cowboy is having their little tete-a-tete in the bathtub. And she like, what you calling me for? And I don't blame her. But of course, Sabrina is now letting her know that Calvin came over here and I don't know what to do. And I don't know if I should talk to him. And what should I do? And, and I'm like, Sabrina, really? That's the problem right now. Make your own decisions. And I get it. Sometimes you girls want to get their reasoning so they can chime in and whatnot. But yeah, when she told her that, hey, Jacoby was over here. And Danny was like, oh, did you get some? All right now. And she was like, Danny, really? But Danny was like, you know what? I'm in the tub right now with my man. So I'm going to have you to call me back later. I ain't got time to hear that. Now, a little bit later, however, Danny did call her back once she finished doing her business with her cowboy. Anywho, to let her know, okay, what's up, what's going on, what happened. So Sabrina filled her in. Jacoby was at the house. We was all on the counter. We was getting it in. Calvin came by and I got busted. And Danny is like, you know what? You need to leave Calvin alone. You don't want him. He ain't what you want. Just let it go. And Sabrina is like, but I should talk to him. What should I do? In the meantime, while Sabrina trying to get counseling, Calvin comes back and he runs into his roommate, Maurice. And Maurice was like, where you been? And Calvin was like, I just went over to Sabrina's. And he was like, what the heck did you go over there for? Well, I wanted to talk to her and try to see if we can work things out. And when I got over there, the dude from the bank was there. And he was like, what dude? The dude from the bank. You talking about Jacoby? Yeah, Jacoby was there. And she was having sex with him. All up in the refrigerator. And Maurice was like, wait a minute. Jacoby had his ass all up in the refrigerator? I would have liked to have been a condiment to see all of that while that was going on. I mean, Maurice is hilarious. And in the meantime, you still had Sabrina trying to figure this thing out. And Maurice is giving her the heads up because now Calvin is on his way back over there to talk to her. And he's like, look, you was over there with Jacoby and Calvin showed up. And now you got these men acting crazy. And now I'm letting you know Calvin is on his way back. And she like, for what? And he was like, what do you mean for what? To talk to you. And my thing is, she knows she want Calvin. But instead of, I guess there's a part of her that's just feeling some kind of way that he's just, I don't want to say soft, but obviously Sabrina think he is. Jacoby is still not out of her house, but now he didn't put clothes on. He didn't put them pecs away. Oof. But anywho, I digress. As he was trying to leave, guess who showed up with him in the house still? Calvin. And instead, Calvin didn't walk away this time. Calvin was like, okay, I'm finna approach this head on. And Jacoby is looking like, oh, you want to get back with the dude that slept with another dude? And he was like, Sabrina was like, no, that's not the case. And they got into this whole confrontation, I should say. And the look on Jacoby's face and the look on Calvin's face, they could have tore each other apart. It took Sabrina to actually try to get, them from fighting. And the thing is, Jacoby should have left a long time ago. She didn't told him, I don't know how many times to get out of my house, and he was just slow dragging. But on the way out, he bumped Calvin on the shoulder. So now we got this whole conversation, and I will say that Calvin did speak some facts to her. Because it was one thing about Maurice starting that whole rumor about being with somebody in the other room. She listened to it. And then this whole conversation about Calvin being on meth. And it dawned on Calvin like, oh, that's why Maurice had me pee in the cup. He said, why is it everybody else can tell you how to think of me, but when I tell you who I am, you don't want to listen to that? I told you umpteen times I'm not a drug addict and I'm heterosexual. But for some reason, it can't get through Sabrina's thick head that this man is who he say he is. She didn't ran drug tests. She didn't listen to rumors. Sabrina need to leave that man alone. Because unless she can really get herself to really be in a position where she wants to really truly accept him for him, she's going to always look at him as suspect. Always. I don't care what comes out of Calvin's mouth. She's going to always be thinking the same thing. So I don't blame Calvin for being mad. I don't blame Calvin for walking out. Sabrina's confused. She don't know what she want. She want edge, but she don't want the problems that come with the edge dudes. But then when she get the nice dudes, she questions his sexuality and whether he's weak or what he's got going on. And when he tells her the truth, she don't want to listen to the truth. Sabrina, that's on you, girl. All right, so now let's talk about Karen, because we got another issue with Karen. Now, Karen got caught cheating, of course, with her ex, Zach, by Aaron. And that hurt that boy so bad. But speaking of Zach, he makes an appearance to Karen's house. He brings her the cash. And this is his down payment on paying about $75,000 of everything that he used up in Karen's house, any expenses she had to cover. And she was like, why are you doing this? And pretty much in regards to Zach, he like, you know what? I'm finna put some closure and finality to this. Take your money and I'm out. In the meantime, they get into this whole thing about the charges of credit card fraud. And, you know, Zach made a good point. He was like, okay, you believe the bank to tell you that, but you've known me for I don't know how many umpteen years. You knew I wouldn't committed credit card fraud against you. So you needed that as proof. And then they get into this whole thing about, she didn't know and all this stuff. And it ain't her business, because it ain't. I mean, they broke up. Why she's so concerned about Fatima, which we'll talk about Fatima a little bit later. But yeah, this whole thing, they got history. There's a connection there, but it's just too much toxicity between these two. And Karen has been... Granted, Zach done some things, but she is very emasculating when it comes to Zach. And Zach just want to be treated like the human being that he is. So, of course, he left and went over to Fatima's. Now, Fatima mad because she found out that he slept with his ex. Now, the only issue I have with Fatima on this is that Fatima did not define their relationship. She wanted to keep it light. She wanted to keep it open. She don't catch feelings. She just, she with who she with. And, if that's what she wants to do, fine. But then don't get mad if that person decides to move around if you don't have a clear definition of what your relationship is. And so, of course, she's pissed. How you gonna go? You ain't tell me you slept with your ex, blah, blah, blah. Because I remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, in the comment section, I remember Zach specifically asking Fatima, what we doing? And Fatima pretty much kept it light. She kept it in the air. No, we just see how it is and see how it goes. She knows she catching feelings. She knows she is. But that's why this hurts so bad, because if that wasn't the case, she wouldn't be reacting. She would have been like, we not in a relationship. We just kicking it. We just friends with benefits and in a situationship. But that ain't the case. So what she decided to do, and I don't know if she knew Zach was coming over there, she got a whole nother date coming through. Now, this guy shows up. Obviously, he's supposed to be this ball player that she used to talk to. And then, of course, he's cocky enough looking at him like, I'm the new man in the house. And I'm like, boy, please, you are being used as a rebound to pacify her feelings right now. Because she still likes Zach. She still likes Zach. So for her to play that role, she just she get to be mad. But at the same time, she got to also be like, I didn't define this relationship. But Zach was like, oh, it's like that. And Fatima was like, yeah, pretty much. It's like that. I see you when I see you. And dude definitely didn't help because he rubbed it in. Because he was pretty much giving him the deuces like, okay, you know what, dude? We out. Back at Karen's, however, while she on the phone trying to get in touch with Andi, who isn't answering the phone because she had a gun in her face and Gary's on the floor still, somebody show up at her house. Now, it's her current, or shall I say maybe ex, Aaron. And Aaron is drunk and he's crying and he's in so much pain because, of course, like I said, he caught her in the act with her ex. And so he actually had another drive drunk. And of course, that didn't sit well with Karen. Karen was like, wait a minute, you been drinking and you drove over here? And I'm like, yeah, dude, that ain't cool. You could have killed somebody. You could have killed yourself. That ain't cool. His biggest thing is that he felt that he couldn't satisfy her because of the whole no sex before marriage. Well, while she making him some coffee, she turn around and look, and the next thing you know, this man then stripped down. Damn! Yes, he did. And she looking at him like, what are you doing? And he was like, I want you. This all happened because I didn't give it up, and I want to give it to you, and I want you, and all of this, and all while he's drunk. And of course, Karen is like, nah, I don't want it like this. But she got to look at the fact that she hurt this man, because she, unlike Zach and Fatima, Karen and Aaron were actually in a relationship. They were a girlfriend and boyfriend. So he's definitely feeling some kind of way. Now, I will say he needs to give her the side eye, because my thing is, if you still got this whole connection with your ex and you can sleep with him while you're in a relationship with me because I got my values, she might need to walk away from that. And he might need to walk away from that, because if they can't meet in the middle with this, where either she say, I'll wait, or he says, you know what, I can mutually agree to do this on my own, then fine. But otherwise, if they're on two different ends of the spectrum with this whole sex thing, if they can't figure it out, they might have to let each other go. Because obviously she's sexually active and he definitely is not. So back over at Fatima's house, now we at the end of her fake rebound date with this dude, because she's still feeling some kind of way about Zach. This dude thinking he finna get him some. He giving her this look like, oh yeah, I'm about to stay over. We finna get it in. We gonna be like we used to be. And Fatima looking at him like, yeah, right, dude. And this dude figures that he gonna take it one step further and go in for the kiss. And I'm looking at this dude like, boy, if you don't get he better get out of here. And she definitely gave him the Heisman. She showed him the door. Don't let the door hit you, where the good Lord split you, and send him home. Now she look on the counter and she see an envelope, of course, with money. I mean, Zach is definitely making some money drops tonight. And I think his key fob was there to the truck. So she called him like, what are you doing? Why you leave this here? And Zach was like, you know what? Again, like he said to Karen, I'm giving you your money back. I know you probably want to fire me. You know, hey, I'm going to keep it light. Get some closure. I'm out. Here's the key to the truck, or the key fob alarm to the truck. And she like, no, maybe we need to talk. And that's what I'm like, man, Fatima, you should have did this from jump. You had this whole dude take you on this fake date, trying to be a rebound because you trying to feel some kind of way about Zach. And I will give it to you. Them sex scenes between Zach and Fatima was hot. So I know Fatima is feeling some kind of way, but she also feeling some kind of way about the ex, meaning he slept with Karen. So he shows up at the house. And I thought for sure that they definitely were going to end the night in a nightcap. But they had a whole nother direction. So one of the things that Zach asked her in the car is, have you ever been confused? And so this goes back to that whole thing about him saying he's confused about the history that he had with Karen and how he feels about Fatima. And I could also see that he feels some kind of way about that because Fatima didn't define the relationship. What are we doing? Aaron and Karen knew they were in a relationship, but when, Fatima had to answer that question, she didn't. So now he asked her again because she was trying to avoid the question, have you been confused? And she was like, well, I guess I understand how that could happen. So in the meantime, Zach figured that this is an opportunity for him to be able to get back in her good graces. But she ain't feeling him, and she showed him the door just as much as she showed the fake date the door. So poor Zach, at this point, he didn't get what he expected. He knew when that door closed.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
This was definitely a great episode. Everybody was confused, just like the title of the episode says. I mean, Zach and Fatima are confused about their feelings. Sabrina's confused about Jacoby and Calvin. And then Andi is confused about her ex and her feelings. Aaron is confused about the fact of his wanting to sleep with Karen or not. And then Andi is just plain old confused on why the ambulance never showed up for Gary yet, because the cops are talking to her. So let me know what your thoughts are. Did you enjoy this premiere episode? Also, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. Drop a comment down below because I want to know what you guys think. And also feel free to subscribe to continue to get content like this. So until the next video, we will see you soon.